reason that you subscribe is because on a daily basis, we break down everything going on in the cryptocurrency space. We make it easy to understand. We keep you informed. In today's video, I want to update you on Theta and T-Fuel, Monero, Polkadot and Kusama, Amazon and DeFi, and of course, Ethereum, Bitcoin. And maybe, if we have time, we'll get to some other cryptocurrencies in this space. Before we get to any of this, however, and make sure you check the timestamps below, but before we get to any of this, we need to take stock of the current state of the market, because make no mistake about it, in shorter time frames, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the whole cryptocurrency market is in a bear trend. We are in a bear trend on shorter time frames. We are in a bull trend on longer time frames, but recognize that currently we are in a bear trend. So it's possible that we could get that one final capitulation. We'll get to this in just a second. But you're sensing this in the market at the moment, am I right? There is extreme fear on the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, which is now at a 13. And for the past couple weeks, it's been in the red this whole time. And there's been a different thing every day. Today, the FUD is this. The US seized 2.3 million in Bitcoin from Colonial Pipeline hackers. And the worst way to interpret this news, which we've seen plenty of mainstream media publications do, is that the FBI was able to hack Bitcoin and recover the ransomed Bitcoin. And that is just not true. So the news that the FBI had recovered Bitcoin sent fear in the markets, with some believing that the service or that the FBI could hack the Bitcoin network. Again, not true. So this is what happened. The on-chain Bitcoin addresses linked to the Colonial Pipeline ransom were not hacked. Once the FBI figured out the public key of the ransomed Bitcoin by analyzing on-chain data, it linked that public key to a certain custodian. The custodian for that address was then asked to share that private key, and as the popular crypto saying goes, not your keys, not your Bitcoin. So, here's the thing, guys. The Bitcoin network was not hacked. The FBI merely was able to gain access to the criminals' private keys, and they were not in custody of their own crypto, so that was fairly easy for the FBI. If you protect and store your cryptocurrency properly and become your own bank and take that responsibility, it is much, much harder, if not impossible, for anybody to seize your Bitcoin. And this is one of the revolutions that is Bitcoin. And if you do want to do that, I recommend Ledger Nano S or Ledger Nano X. You can compare the two devices. I'll leave the link in the description and the pinned comment below. This is how you protect and store your cryptocurrency safely if you want to take on that responsibility of being your own bank. But let's talk about the state of the Bitcoin network very quickly, and then we'll get into some Ethereum and DeFi and altcoins. And when we take a look at the network, we tend to see a few things are true. Number one, long-term hodlers are continuing to accumulate. This is trust. This shows trust and strength in the network. This is what we want to see. So this is surely a good thing. But let's not mince words. Like I said in the beginning, it is possible we see something like this, a final capitulation, because where we are right now looks similar to bottom accumulation. So it could be bottom accumulation, or it could be this. And this is basically what we saw in 2018. If you're, a bear market OG like myself. Many people thought that 6K was the bottom because it held so long, but there was that final capitulation, and then a bottom actually formed, and you can see they look very similar, and it's almost impossible to know where we are until after it already happens. My personal belief, and again, I have no idea, my personal belief is that this was the bottom, and if it wasn't the bottom, it's very close to the bottom, and what we'll soon see is more of a V-shaped recovery, similar to what we saw in 2017. But like I said, Bitcoin on longer term timeframes still looks great to me. Bitcoins are being moved off exchanges at the highest rate since November. In fact, yesterday, the most Bitcoin was removed from exchanges in a single day this year. 22,500. So people are buying the dip, that is for sure. And more people, it is getting revealed, are actually Bitcoin or crypto holders. Check this out. Tim Wu, top official in Joe Biden's National Economic Council, holds between 1 million and 5 million worth of Bitcoin and over 100,000 worth of Filecoin. This is according to his latest filed financials. So probably something that he wouldn't necessarily want to admit, but he has to make these financials public, and now we know. White House advisor holds over 1 million in Bitcoin. This is bullish. And this is a gentleman who is famous for coining the term net neutrality. And the details are this. Tim Wu, a member of the National Economics Council in the US, holds Bitcoin and Filecoin. Check this out. His financials reveal that his cryptocurrency investments account for more than 25% of his assets. So he has a lot of money in crypto. Tim Wu serves as special assistant to President Biden on technology and competition policy. Pretty bullish. This is what I'd like to see. So we just went over the current state of the market and Bitcoin. Let's move on to Ethereum and some altcoins. I'm curious to hear from you, though, in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on the current state of the market. Are you bearish? Are you bullish? What are you doing? Over 1% of Bitcoin now lives as wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum. There are now more than 187,000 wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum, representing over 1% of Bitcoin's circulating supply. 1% of the Bitcoin circulating supply is actually a lot of Bitcoin. And we're continuing to see Bitcoin and Ethereum both grow and both complement each other. So, interesting development. Speaking about Ethereum, more than 5 million ETH is being staked on the Ethereum network. That's around almost 5% of the circulating supply of ETH is being staked on Ethereum. This is trust in ETH 2.0, and this is about 14 billion committed to the security of Ethereum through staking. I like that. And speaking of validators for ETH2 or on the Beacon chain, 160 validators are securing the Beacon chain with 7,000 pending. Incredible vote of confidence in the future of Ethereum. So I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm bullish on Ethereum. Check this out. Amazon job listing seeks DeFi experience, as Amazon job announcement is looking for a candidate that is passionate about blockchain and decentralized networks. Quote, do you want to define the future direction for how Amazon Web Services, AWS, will enable customers to solve problems and innovate with blockchain tech across a wide range of industries and use cases? Well, if you do, you should seek out this head of product, blockchain for Amazon, Seattle, Washington, where they want somebody with DeFi experience. Bullish on DeFi. Polkadot is ready for Kusama parachain auctions. If you hold Polkadot, if you're bullish on Polkadot or Kusama, major protocol update. It's on its way. Parachain's auction on Polkadot's Canary network, Kusama, will begin from June 15th. The project founder, former Ethereum co-founder Gavin Wood wrote on Tuesday. So both Polkadot and Kusama are trying to create an interoperable network of 100 parachains plugged in to a central relay chain. As you know, Kusama is an identical network to Polkadot, except its role is to function as a test network and experiment with various tech features before they can be rolled out on Polkadot. And this big milestone is coming to Kusama and then Polkadot. And this is, the mainnet launched over a year ago, and they're finally getting to parachains. And this is what we've been reporting on, and this is what we like to see. Monero team receives anonymous 500,000 donations. So Monero is a privacy coin with the best Lindy effect. Monero is definitely still in the game. Monero has received a donation of 1,700 Monero coins, maybe from a Monero whale, maybe from a Monero believer. It's worth 500,000. So the Monero team plans to publish a spending report in the coming months. Monero's general fund, where this money was donated to, helps the project purchase web services, tools, and salaries for contractors. So Monero, I'm curious, do you guys own Monero? Anybody like have a hodl position for Monero? I know some people that do. Finally, let's talk about Theta Network. Theta and Theta T-Fuel soar ahead of its June 30th mainnet launch. Now, first of all, what is Theta Network? It is a Samsung and Sony-backed Theta Network that wants to make it cheaper for companies to share video content. So they're backed by some big names and some big money. And basically, Theta Network aims to provide a decentralized infrastructure for video streaming that's cheaper than centralized alternatives. Participants in the Theta Network are paid in tokens for sharing video content to the users. Their mainnet is about to launch on June 30th. This project is years in the making. Towards the end of May, price action for Theta and T-Fuel began to ramp up after the project revealed that the creative artist agency, CAA, one of the biggest talent agencies for actors and sports and musicians, has become the newest validator node operator for the network. So they're actually getting all these big names and all these companies to run validator nodes. That's something interesting, something to keep an eye on. The subsequent release of one-click delegated staking for the Theta Web Wallet also raised excitement in the community, as the simplified method for earning a yield is ideal for hodlers who don't want to deal with more complicated ways of yield farming. Investors looking to stake on the network are required to hold a minimum of 1,000 Theta tokens, which are worth roughly 10,000 at current prices. So, mainnet launch June 30th. What do you think about Theta and T-Fuel? I happen to own some. I bought Theta and T-Fuel way back in 2018, and I just held on, and it's been working out quite nicely so far.